Do you remember Joe Schnitt? He was the DOJ official, high level. He ran the witness protection program for the Department of Justice that thought he was going out on a date in September with a woman named Skylar. Turned out she was undercover and got him to say things out loud like the Epstein files were going to be redacted so no Republicans or Donald Trump would be implicated, and that Ghislaine Maxwell should not have been moved to a minimum security or low security prison because she's a convicted child sex predator. Well, that got out. That we have the tape. We reported on it. And then a day later, Joe Schnitt, after a 23-year career in the Department of Justice, got canned by Pam Bondi. And now he has sued. Yes, we've got the lawsuit we've all been waiting for, the Hinge lawsuit. Right here in my hot little hands, Joseph Schnitt versus Pam Bondi and the Department of Justice. He wants his job back. Now that he figured out that he wasn't going to have a quote-unquote romantic relationship with Skylar, whose real name is not even Skylar. She used to work for Turning Point and now works for O'Keefe, who ran something called Project Veritas. I got the goods. I got the receipts. You're here on Legal AF on Monday. Let's get to the story. It just got filed in the last few minutes. I want to break it down for you. In September, I reported that Joe Schnitt, a 23-year member of the Department of Justice, went out on a blind date through the Hinge app. He had gone back and forth with a woman that he thought was named Skylar. They finally agreed to have a date, and she was recording the whole darn thing with some secret cam and got him to talk about Epstein, which was very much in the news because Ghislaine Maxwell had just was lobbying for a pardon. They just gave Ghislaine Maxwell immunity for an interview with the Department of Justice. You know, very much in the news. So, without further ado, let me show you the undercover clip of Mr. Schnitt with a woman he thinks is Skylar, who's really an undercover journalist who records his answers to the questions about the Epstein files and Ghislaine Maxwell and Pam Bondi. Let's play the clip.
Well, those files do exist.
Yeah, thousands and thousands of pages of files. They'll redact every Republican or conservative person in those files, leave all the liberal, Democratic people in those files.
I think they visited that Maxwell person.
Yeah.
And also involved.
Got transferred to a minimum security prison too recently, which is against BOP policy because she's a convicted sex offender. They're offering her something to keep it hush.
And what do you do for work again?
I work for the Department of Justice.
Okay.
Been there like 23 years. I'm an analyst. I'll be acting deputy chief of our office for a few months starting next week. I work closely with like all the federal law enforcement agencies and the U.S. attorney's offices, the prosecutors and stuff. The thing is, it's interesting because I do deal with so many of the agencies, like the Bureau of Prisons, the Marshal Service, the FBI, U.S. attorney's offices.